Hello everyone, I am Mrs. Ferguson, and in this video I will be introducing rhetorical analysis writing. In this introduction, I'll review the basic components of a body paragraph. Then we will move into discussing how to approach the summer writing assignment prompt, and then discuss how we apply the knowledge from lessons 1 and 2 into your essay's response. So let's get started. This image provides a basic overview of paragraph elements, and it is included in the resource pages of the course reader. As you probably remember from the last 2 years of English class, each body paragraph includes a topic sentence, or TS, that makes a claim. And then it is followed by concrete details, CDs, commentary, CMs, and a concluding sentence, which we call CSs, or abbreviate. The CDs and CMs together make what we call a chunk. And the ratio is the balance between CDs and CMs. So for body paragraphs that require 2 chunks, 1:2 ratio, you would need 1 CD and 2 CM sentences per chunk. And this would repeat itself so that you have a total of 2 CDs and 4 CMs in the paragraph. Another reminder, the 1:2 ratio is recommended for analysis writing, which we're talking about today, and for argument, we recommend about a 2:1 ratio. Before we discuss each component of a rhetorical analysis essay, let's review the summer reading prompt. The prompt, what is the author, either Rebecca Skloot, Tara Westover, or Brian Stevenson, arguing, and how do they convince their reader, has 2 parts. 1, you need to answer what is the author's argument. To review lesson 2, this is the thesis or overarching argument. And 2, how does the author convince their reader of this argument? In other words, what choices do they make to convince their audience? As I just mentioned, in order to answer this prompt, you need to determine the following. What is the author's argument? Or, as we discussed in lesson 2, thesis. So you need to determine what this book is about. Most likely, you will arrive at multiple topics, so you will need to decide which topic or subject is most relevant and or the one you are most interested in. Then, since this is a large work, you have to consider the evidence and reasoning presented throughout the entire text. In order to come up with a statement that expresses the author's overarching claim, again, think statement of theme. I've created an optional handout for you to complete this brainstorming. You can find it on the summer Google Classroom page under optional practice. For the second part of the prompt that asks, how does the speaker convince, or the author convince the reader? You will want to consider the rhetorical situation of the text. You will want to definitely spend some time considering who the intended audience is, because you need to be able to analyze how the author's choices take in consideration the audience's beliefs, values, backgrounds, and needs. You will also need to really consider the purpose of the text, the why the author is writing. I also have provided an additional handout to help with this process, and it is also on Google Classroom. After considering the rhetorical situation, you will want to go back and visit that evidence you originally brainstormed to determine the author's thesis to start processing the how. You will want to consider the author's choices by asking questions like, what type of evidence does the author include? What types of stories are they telling? How does the organization of the text impact the argument, purpose, and audience? And maybe you start looking at maybe larger style techniques the author uses in the text. Once you have spent time considering the argument, rhetorical situation, and the author's choices, you are ready to write the thesis statement. Your thesis statement should make a claim and provide direction for the essay. The claim should answer what is the author's argument, and the direction should answer how does the author convince the reader. A brief note on the how aspect is you want to consider the larger moves the author makes. Again, you can consider the evidence, the types of stories they tell, reoccurring ideas, or perhaps important style elements. And the reason why you want these to be the larger moves is because you become much more specific in the topic sentences of your body paragraphs. So let's review topic sentences. As you may remember, a topic sentence should not be a question, quote, or general statement. By a general statement, I mean that a topic sentence should be specific to your argument. When discussing a piece of literature or nonfiction, for example, your claim in the topic sentence should specifically relate to the work you are analyzing. Your topic sentence should express the main idea of the paragraph, support the thesis statement, make a specific claim about the author's choice, and how it impacts the audience and purpose. Not only are you supporting that thesis statement, you're also building on it. You're going to get a little bit more specific as to describing the how and purpose. Since you as a writer need to defend your claims with evidence and reasoning, let's review the content of the two body paragraphs, the concrete details and commentary which make up each chunk. As a reminder, the instructions state that you should have two body paragraphs. Each one should have two chunks that utilize the 1:2 ratio. This means you will need a total of 4 concrete details. So concrete details in the paragraph provide the evidence that support the thesis and topic sentence claims. For this essay, it means that it should demonstrate the how and relate to the author's major argument. When you say that CD should show rather than tell, this means that you want to make sure that the evidence is not just directly stating the argument. It's not just stating the author's claim. If you do this, it will really limit your analysis. Additionally, for analysis writing, CD should use specific references to the text, which include direct quotes with citations. These quotes should be embedded into your own sentence with context. The context is basically a paraphrase of what is happening or what is being discussed leading up to the quotation. Keep in mind that the entire sentence is your evidence and not just that quote you selected. When selecting concrete details, ask yourself, what does the author say or do to support my claim? The commentary provides analysis and reasoning. By reasoning, we mean that it provides the explanation of how the quote proves your topic sentence's claim. The analysis of the CD is the expression of why the evidence is relevant and/or insight on how it connects to the work as a whole. And by whole, we mean message and purpose. Remember, you will have at least 2 sentences of commentary per CD, so you will want to build your ideas in 2 sentences. It doesn't all have to be said in one. Since the commentary should relate to the evidence specifically, this formula of specific reference to the CD plus strong verb plus significance can help develop the commentary. The specific reference to the text could be brief. It should draw the reader's attention to what the analysis will be focusing on. Though you could use some of the specific language from the CD, make sure it is necessary and not just redundant. Strong verbs are words like illustrate, express, demonstrate, expose, and highlight. In order to avoid restating the evidence or summarizing, you should ask yourself the following questions. Why is this CD significant? In other words, the so what, why does this matter? How does this prove my claim? And since you are now writing rhetorical analysis, you need to consider the rhetorical situation. So you will want to ask, what impact does this have on the audience? Other ways you can ask this question or get a little more specific is, how does it relate to the audience's values? How will it make the audience feel? Why does the author want to create this type of impact? This is also where you can explain the choices the author makes by focusing on the language and the style. As a writer, it is important to create cohesion and a clear line of reasoning. In other words, it is important that ideas connect within the essay. One way we do this one way we create this cohesion and organization is through concluding sentences and concluding paragraphs. Both concluding sentences and concluding paragraph function to synthesize what has been addressed. And to synthesize is to pull the different pieces together to create a whole, which provides a nice finished feeling to the paragraph and or the essay. So the concluding sentence will synthesize the paragraph by considering how both chunks work together to support the topic sentence. It should also provide a finished feeling to the paragraph. You will want to avoid providing new evidence or new information. You also will want to avoid just restating the topic sentence. In other words, just rephrasing what the topic sentence already states. Likewise, the concluding paragraph will synthesize the essay by considering how both paragraphs work together to support the thesis. It should also provide a finished feeling to the essay. You will want to avoid, again, providing new evidence or new information, and you will also want to avoid just restating the thesis. Thank you for watching and taking notes. The intention of all 3 videos is to give us a jumpstart to the school year. When we get to school, we will review, build, and practice the skills presented in these videos. I hope you enjoy the rest of the summer, and I will see you the first day of school.